You better be cool. Relax. It's electric football. It's a crazy little thing called electric football. Stu Pace, the only Dolphin fan left in America.
True. Steve Brown, the only guy that shows up on a Tuesday to film with me.
All right, here we go. Love you guys, by the way. Falcons at Eagles. What do we start with?
We start with a bird fight.
We start with a bird fight.
Ah! Yeah, I can't believe we're actually starting with a bird fight. So the last time they met in January, the Eagles won 15-10.
Oh, we're going for the warm beer this year.
Oh, is it warm?
I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Beggars can't be choosers, and I'm begging.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This could be a preview of the NFC Championship game in my eyes. Ryan and company are coming in with high hopes for this season. The Eagles, can they roll again? That's my whole question going into this.
Eagles fly. I don't believe they roll.
Okay, well, can they fly again? You know, Foles is here to start the season, but once Wentz is healthy, are they going to make the switch? I mean,
they're going to make the switch.
Yeah, but what does that do? I mean, Foles took you to the promised land. Tough. I'm going to take the home team because they're probably going to raise some banner or give out rings or murder a cowboy in the middle of the field. I don't know what they're going to do, but those fans are going to be nuts.
You are allowed to do one murder. Please choose the player of the other team you would like to kill.
I'm taking the Eagles.
I'm going against you, Stu, to start
Excellent.
the season.
Okay.
I like the Falcons. I think their offensive line is better than people give them credit for. Their offense is absolutely stacked. Calvin Ridley is a nice addition. I believe Austin Hooper is going to have a hell of a year. Hooper.
Don't wait for me, Quinn.
Nice jaws.
Thank you.
Anyway, plus maybe this is just an angry Viking fan looking for revenge. Yeah, there'll be an emotional ceremony, but there's an old saying, it's hard to eat when you're already filled. And I think that the Eagles may have a little Super Bowl hangover.
They could.
And quite frankly, there's no question in my mind. You go to Carson Wentz. Nick Foles is not that good. So if we get the old Matt Ryan, 2016 Matt Ryan, the Falcons could be a very, very dangerous team this year.
Agree.
And I'm going with them on this.
Okay. I can't argue that.
Oh, one thing.
That's why we have a show.
The other thing is, this season, I don't know if anybody caught it. I think it was on ESPN. Check out the who's suspended and out for the first week thing. So for the Eagles, Nigel Bradham is out, leading tackler from last year. And it's an amazing list. I'm going to try and highlight some of the guys that are out suspended for, breaking the... either, caressing their Uber drivers. Michael Kendricks got thrown out of the NFL, evidently, for insider trading, which was not exactly the crime you're expecting.
Not from a football player.
Yeah, and there's an awful lot of guys that are smoking their way out of the league. I'm looking at you, Martavis Bryant. So it's something to keep an eye on. You don't realize, all this stuff happens during the preseason, and you forget, a lot of these guys are going to be missing games. Anyway, let's go on. Bills, Ravens. You want me to go? You
go ahead.
All right. Peterman,
get in here.
Channel 11 in New York is the Picks, and they used to have this video game where people would call in back in the 80s, and to make the little thing shoot to try and win the video games, you had to go Picks, 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 Picks. People realized that if you tried to time it, it was so off, they'd go picks, and the thing would shoot 5 seconds later. So kids would get on and be like, picks, 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 picks. And that's what the announcers sound like when Peterman plays. My God, I hope Nathan Peterman has the best game of his career, and he might, because Jimmy Smith, quarterback for the Ravens, is suspended. But I don't expect him to. Flacco's being pushed now by Lamar Jackson. The Ravens, while I don't expect them to be a great team, people are looking at the Bills and going, is this the worst team out there? How Peterman beats out Allen, I don't understand. I would throw Allen out there irregardless. Absolutely. Because Peterman's first half was a nightmare. But there's a part of me that is human. It's a very small part, but that little small part of me that is human hopes that Peterman has a good game. I'm picking the Ravens, but I'm rooting for Peterman.
Yeah, I agree. Flacco has Lamar and RG3. I'm surprised they kept RG3. I guess they're just waiting for someone to go down.
So he can go down also?
Yeah. Perfectly fine quarter. I mean, he's looked good. He looks healthy. He's looked accurate. I never disliked him. I just thought he could never stay on the field, and that's why I never really liked him as a player, because I can't root for you if you're sitting on the sidelines. I think Flacco has a really good year this year. I think their defense has improved from last year. The Bills were gifted a playoff spot last year, and I would put Josh Rosen. I mean, here you go, you or Josh Allen. You go in and you draft
Some
them,
Josh. Get
Yeah.
get a Josh in there, damn it.
Josh Brolin, and why aren't you playing him? Yeah, your offensive line is probably a complete mess. I don't even know if Incognito's playing after all the.
Oh no, he's
Is he out of the league?
You're a desperate GM if you're sitting there going, maybe Richie Incognito. He got arrested at least twice this offseason.
So-
He was threatening like people in a funeral home.
Yeah,
It's sad to see what's
he's
going
dead,
on.
Jim. No, he's not.
It's sad to see what's going on with
Yeah,
Incognito.
But I can't pick Peterman going against a Ravens defense.
you can't pick Peterman going against the high school
And
defense.
it's true. So yeah, my pick is the Ravens. A lot of home teams this year for me.
Jags at Giants, and everyone around here is very excited. Well, Dante Fowler Jr. suspended. Anyway, everyone around here is very excited about Saquon Barkley. I heard today Pat Shermer, ex-Viking coach and hopefully an offensive genius for the Giants, is saying like Barkley's ready to go. He's 100%. He's been dinged up in the preseason. Had a great first run. He's one of those, they handed off. He went for like 38, 39 yards on his first run, and Giants fans were heard, making their climax noise.
Yeah, they were already betting for the Super Bowl.
But the Giants have an awful lot of weaknesses. One being offensive line, which does not bode well, even with suspensions on the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Two is they have nobody to rush the pass rusher. And three is if Eli has a bad game, and Eli traditionally has a few bad games, they're doomed. If Eli gets hurt, forget it. I think Davis Webb just got thrown to their practice
Yeah,
squad.
I can't even name their backup quarterback.
Yeah, nobody can.
I read them, and I don't know who
Kyle
they are.
Laletta at this point, like a fourth-round pick. So the Giants, they picked up Solder. They're trying to keep Flowers alive out there. But the right side of the Giants' defensive line is a weakness, a big weakness.
Mhm.
And I expect the Jaguars to fully, attack with just reckless abandon. And I expect, 4 or 5 sacks of Eli, couple of turnovers, Jaguars win.
Yeah, they were the number 1 rushing team last year, the Jaguars. They're coming in against a Giants team that, well, they didn't win a lot of games. That's why they had such a good pick to begin with. The Jags have all the pieces in place to me, except quarterback. I'm still not sold on Bortles. He hasn't done anything to make you go, this is the guy that can lead us to the promised land. I'm surprised they didn't address it.
No, he's done a lot of things to make you go. Why not Teddy Bridgewater right there?
I don't know. Why not Colin Kaepernick? Christ's sakes, the guy's out there.
Your depth chart could seriously be Bridgewater, Kaepernick, Bortles.
Yeah.
It would have cost you nothing. Yes, you're putting a lot of risk on Bridgewater's knee, but perfect landing spot for Bridgewater. Sorry.
Yeah, and he gives you the confidence that you can win a game because the guy's a winner. I like him a lot. Eli and Odell, they're going to have a tough time against this secondary, and Barkley's playing. Everything I've read is Barkley's playing. It's going to be awfully hard to run against this Jaguars defense. And as good as he is, everyone up here was screaming that they picked the running back. I thought he was the best player coming out of college, my opinion, at the time on offense. And I thought it was a great pick, but it's not going to help them this game. I'm taking the Jaguars.
Yeah, the Giants have a lot to prove based on who they picked and and what the Jets did thereafter.
Yeah.
What do we got? Bucks at Saints. Normally a pretty good QB matchup. Not in this case because evidently Jameis Winston had a cute Uber driver. I don't know. So you got Ryan Fitzpatrick going. The Saints are a team on the rise. Everybody is looking at them as a potential Super Bowl team. Their drafting has been spectacular recently. And, but Mark Ingram suspended. Suspended. So, each team has losses because people are using illegal substances or attracted to their Uber drivers. You don't remember taxi drivers getting into so much weirdness as Uber drivers get into, do you? Because
it's weird people picking you up.
Yeah, just random. Oh, some random guy wants to give you a ride. I used to hitchhike when I was a kid. I used to hitchhike all the time, and I got some weird ass rides. I never got the full on crazy.
I'm from
but
Uber.
You're
really?
basically hitchhiking, but paying for it now. Anyway, Kamara, Breeze, you gotta like the Saints over Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's just sort of riding out the string as a clipboard holder, and all of a sudden, oh crap, I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, Breeze is ageless. He hasn't slowed down. He had a great season last year. I'm not as sold on them as far as getting to the Super Bowl as a lot of people may be, because I still think they're weak in certain aspects on defense, evidenced by your game where two guys tackled each other on the Saints. Unfortunately, the Viking caught the ball.
Wrong time to duck.
Who was that again?
Oh, God, don't ask me.
Diggs.
Diggs caught the ball.
Yeah, so that's what I meant.
Yeah, there we go.
One of the most exciting plays in football, bar none, in the last 5 years that I can remember. That was absolutely a stunning play. I was literally at this club watching the game, and I was starting to walk out the door when the play happened, and I couldn't believe what I saw.
I'm a Vikings fan. All I can think is, shit, we're going to lose next week.
We were actually texting each other. Yeah, Fitzpatrick starting, it's not a bad thing for the Buccaneers. It's not a great thing, but they're weak, and their defense isn't very good. It's the Saints at home. They're going to torch them.
The Buccaneers are like the Bengals. They never seem to really improve themselves, and you always look at them and go, they're not bad. They're pretty good. They could do this.
And then they hit the field.
But they never do. A level of mediocrity that is hard to explain for those teams. Anyway, game of the week probably here. We've got Houston at the Patriots. Edelman suspended. You don't know?
I don't know.
This could be. Think about what Deshaun Watson did last year.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what J.J. Watt is capable of if he is healthy. Oh, football gods, hear my prayer. Let this be the passing of the torch from Tom Brady to Deshaun Watson, who won Clemson a freaking national championship. So there are a couple of guys, Bridgewater being one, Deshaun Watson being one, J.J. Watt being one, that I really I want them to just be healthy. I want to go out there and protect their knees and their backs and their Mike Williams, another Clemson guy for the Chargers. I want him to actually get a season in the NFL, where his neck stays. Luck. There's a crap ton of guys. You just want to stay healthy so you can see top level football, and that is how I feel about Houston. I am picking Houston just because I'm sick of the Patriots. And there is, in the offseason, there's that little rumbling that things are not all well in Patriot land. Edelman suspension. What the hell did Malcolm Butler do?
Right. Amendola, they let him go when they need him.
Right. Well, they did. They went out and picked up another.
Yeah,
they picked up another wide receiver.
Really?
Remember when the Celtics used to be like Fred Roberts and Danny Ainge? How is it that New England is the only team that do this?
It really is incredible. And naturally, this is in Foxborough. I mean, God forbid we opened this game in Houston. I would have liked to seen it there. I don't have a lot of faith in this. It could be a high-scoring game.
Oh, it seems like it could be.
The Pats have a lot of holes, and hopefully this is, on their way down. But after all those distractions, when it comes down to it, boy, you drank that beer.
Had to get it while it was still warm.
On the field, they're all business. I have no doubt that the Patriots are going to win this. Probably in a shootout with the Patriots.
San Francisco at the Vikings. And a lot of people are all jacked up. Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo has never lost. He's the greatest guy. He's more handsome than Tom Brady or Stuart Pace. I don't want to hear it. This is our year. I am worried about the Cousins thing. I'm not going to lie. Oh, and by the way, bye Terrence Newman. Bye Brian Robinson. You've been great, Vikings. I'm really sorry you're going. Every year, NFL is a cruel sport. I mean, you had your cuts like 2 days ago, and then the season starts. You're like, I almost was on that team. Yeah. It's horrific to these guys. And to see guys like, 40-year-old cornerbacks going like, maybe I can do it one more time. Ugh. They're so close. The Vikes are so close. Dalvin Cook, come on, baby, stay healthy. So I'm a Viking guy. We added Sheldon Richardson. We threw in another cornerback because God knows we've got 15 now. Why didn't we pick an offensive lineman? Because they're going down.
Because there are not that many.
Elfline's already down. Easton's already down. We have one weak spot. It's our offensive line. Reuben Foster for San Francisco suspended.
Jerick McKinnon out for the season.
Out for the season, yeah. So they're down to like Alfred Morris and Matt Breida. I mean, I think we got this one.
Yeah.
Go Vikes.
Yeah, Jimmy hasn't lost a game yet. That changes Sunday.
Let's hope.
Getting Cook back is huge because he can make a decent to crappy offensive line look good and take the pressure off just with his skills. And I think that's what he brings to it. I think with Kirk Cousins, you get a smart quarterback. I don't think he's the best quarterback, and I almost would have stuck with Case Keenum after watching what he did last year. The guy was kind of on a roll, and then You're not keeping him?
It's not out of the realm of possibility that Teddy Bridgewater and Case Keenum will have a better season
You're
than
right.
Kirk Cousins
Mhm.
and our $84 million or whatever the hell we gave him.
Right.
So, let's hope
Yeah.
not. But you never went and said, "Ooh, the Redskins are playing. I got to turn that one on to see,
Right. See
freaking
Kirk Cousins be average.
play." Sorry.
Anyway, the Vikings, they've got to get ahead, and they got to get ahead fast because you can't have another miracle ending like you had to get your wins that way. If they're really going to compete, and I think they can in the NFC this year, they got to come out and just beat the crap out of people. Otherwise, if they're in close games, I'm not 100% sure they can win.
Yeah, the last time we had a season opener against San Francisco, they beat the snot out of us. So I am a little
Yeah,
nervous
but who
about
was
this.
that? Joe Montana?
No, it was like 2-3 years ago, and they had nobody. It was when they were horrible, and they came out and they slapped around the Vikings, and then they laid down for about 10 weeks in a row.
And then Matt Bryan missed a field.
Yeah. Anyway, so we go right from that to
It's from your team to my team. So I think this is one of the few games this season Miami can actually win.
whoa.
First of all, we're home.
You are?
It's hot. Tannehill.
You're going for the heat thing, the heat index.
Well, that used to be a huge difference back in the day.
Vikings used to win when it was snowing and cold.
Absolutely, home field advantage. Now we put a little cover over
Put
it so
the
the fans don't
domes.
get a sunburn, but it's still hot as shit down there. And
Hot as shit out here right now.
It is. I don't think Mariota is better than Tannehill.
Oh, you're wrong in that, but okay.
What has he won?
Mariota's a little more skilled than Tannehill.
Yeah.
I think if you ask our viewers out there to put in the comments who they would take, Mariota or Tannehill, I'm betting beer that
Okay,
Mariota wins.
I think they're on par with each other. I'm just hopeful our defense can stop their running game. Derrick Henry, he can maul you. Our defensive line, should be a strength. It hasn't looked very good in the preseason. We've got some nice players on there. They're a little skinny, though. There's not a lot of big fat guys.
You do have a lot of skinny guys.
We
Because
do.
Kiko Alonso is like,
Oh, he shouldn't
He's a
even be on the
stick
team.
figure.
That pisses me off. But Gase better have a better playbook than he's shown thus far in the preseason. A bubble screen on 3rd and 18 is never going to fucking work, but he uses it on 1st down, 2nd down, and 3rd down. So, Gase, you get your shit together and you call some plays. You got a guy that can throw the ball. Now you've got Mike Gesicki, who should be catching everything thrown his way. Amendola should be doing what he did in the last preseason game, is take a little slant, fake a couple guys out, and run for a score. I think Miami wins this game.
Amendola's never had over 700 yards in a season. Gesicki's a rookie out of Penn State and wasn't even what I would call the best tight end prospect coming out of there. That was
My favorite pick of the year.
probably Hayden Hurst. Mike Vrabel would come out and tackle the guy off the sideline. If Amendola shakes a couple guys, Vrabel's going to come out and make the tackle. Oh, wait, I don't play anymore. I'm a coach.
Who's that coach
What
that
the hell?
tackled the guy on the way down the sideline years ago?
I think exactly.
Was it
Woody
Ohio
Hayes.
State guy? Woody Hayes.
Woody
yeah.
Hayes punched a Clemson player, but no,
No.
one of the Jets guys tripped a guy on
No, that's
special
right. Yeah,
teams.
the special teams coach. Douche.
So anyway, I think you hit it the nail on the head, though. I think the Titans basically pound Derrick Henry, and I think it's going to work. So I'm going with the Titans. Bengals at the Colts.
Take my Vikings pick back.
Oh yeah, I don't blame you. Hey, here's a surprise. Bengals at the Colts. Vontez Burfict suspended.
Come on, Vontez Burfict of all people.
Choir boy that he is. Well, as I was saying before, the Bengals they just look at a team that's crappy and mediocre, and they go, okay, we'll roll with that again.
How is Marvin Lewis still there?
Marvin Lewis,
How is he still there?
He's a nice guy.
Oh, yeah, don't buck the system.
Andy Dalton, he's all right. Like there's we don't really want to win this thing. We just want to be
They
competitive.
call home field the jungle, but it's like jungle habitat. It was abandoned
No, it
40
was-
years ago
It was
here.
the jungle when like Crumrye was playing. I mean, like, and when Guns N' Roses was
When
significant. Like,
Kenny Anderson was quarterback.
yeah. No, see, I mean, like, have they had a playmaker since Chad Johnson? Like, well, Ben Jarvis, Ben Ellis, Ben Green, whatever the hell his name was.
Been seeing you.
So anyway, Quentin Nelson should upgrade the Colts offensive line. Luck's already limping around on a foot. Like the poor guy is fragile. I mean, I'm hoping that he pulls it together and can get a season in. If he can, here's another little. I like there's an awful lot of tight ends I like this year. If you're looking for fantasy sleepers, and Jack Doyle could
Mhm.
have a crazy good
I
year.
actually had him last year.
Yeah, and he had like 80 receptions with nobody throwing him the ball.
Right.
So conceivably, if Andrew Luck is back there, he might, he might go, holy crap, I've got a good tight end. I mean,
Right.
he's got a stupid name, he's like, it's like Bill Smith, Steve Brown, whatever. But
Jack Doyle.
I'll throw it to Jack.
Private
Yeah. Wasn't he in that 24 show with that Jack Doyle? Anyway, sorry. I like the Colts in this. I like the Colts big in this, actually.
Yeah, I like the Colts too. And you know what they got going for them? They have Frank Reich on their side now. First year coach, biggest comeback victory in college football as a quarterback, biggest comeback victory in the NFL as a quarterback, and maybe he's the third string quarterback because I think they're going to need him. I don't think Luck makes the season, but I'm taking the Colts here.
Okay. Yeah, he at least makes the first game, and that's all we're worried about.
Yep, that's all that's on my sheet.
So what do we got? We got
Steelers, Browns.
Yeah, this one's really interesting because the Browns really are upgrading their team. And if you watched Baker Mayfield in the preseason, I don't watch a whole hell of a lot of preseason games, I got to tell you that. But I went out of my way to see Mayfield, and he really does look good. And everybody has underestimated him throughout his career.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that, I think they're going to lose. But the Steelers, no, I mean, how do you take them right now? They're on like a
Of course not.
25-game losing streak. You just can't. The Steelers are having a lot of internal strife, like they did last year. Le'Veon Bell, as of this taping, is not
Yeah.
on the team, and it's not going to matter. Juju Schuster-Smith, they have enough. Antonio Brown, they have enough to beat the Browns at home
Mm-hmm.
until the Browns can prove that they can finish out a game, because they can hang, they can get close, and Mayfield may have that little something special. But until he goes against live ammunition, until he goes against a real defense that's trying to confuse him and making last-second, adjustments, and he has to make the reads, and I'm going to go Steelers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers. Look, I think Baker Mayfield looks very good too. I think it's a year or so away from that team really gelling and being good. However, the Steelers, they got some holes. They're getting older. Big Ben is for a huge guy, gets a lot of injuries, and I don't think it's going to happen in week one. But, I think the Browns keep it close. My heart says Browns. My head says Steelers. I'm rooting for the Browns this year. I like that they took the chance on the guy that nobody else wanted to with the first pick. I mean, that was
gutsy.
That was gutsy. It was a shock. And you know what? If you believe in the guy and you take him, I mean, Darnold looks good for the Jets, but I think Mayfield's got a fire and a desire to show everyone else that they're wrong.
And the other guys they were looking at, Allen and Rosen, they haven't won the starting spot.
Right.
So yeah,
Against Peterman, for Christ's sake. Peterman.
There we go. So what do we got? We got KC at the Chargers. Chargers have Corey Liggett. I can't even say the guy's name. Liggett. He's out, suspended. I'm telling you, like. I forgot. Robert Turbin suspended.
You should have an all-suspended team going.
Yeah, I mean, you could put together an all-star team of suspended guys. Seriously, and they might beat the Browns.
Certainly beat Miami.
When I looked at this game, my initial instinct was Chiefs. I was like, they've got the team speed. Patrick Mahomes is getting rave reviews, but Patrick Mahomes hasn't proven it, and Phillip Rivers really has. Now, do the Chargers have a home field advantage? No, they barely have a home field.
They play in my backyard, I think.
But I like their defensive line, Joey Bosa, and company to put pressure on Mahomes. And same thing I said with Mayfield. Mahomes has to go out there and do it, live and prove it to me once.
Yeah.
The Chiefs are loaded on offense, and with Reed back, the defense. Barry. Good God, Reed. The defense should be more cohesive than it was last year, because at times, like in that Oakland game last year, it was like watching a Madden game. It was like watching arena football. But Mike Williams is there for the Chargers. Keenan Allen is an underrated wide receiver for a lot of people. Phillip Rivers has proven it again and again.
Melvin Gordon, one of the best in the league.
I looked at it and I went, they really match up offensively, and I think the Chargers have the better defense, so I'm going Chargers.
I'm going Chargers too, and a lot of people
I
are
didn't
high
think you
on
would.
them. Yeah, no, I'm not a Chiefs fan. They, ever since the Schottenheimer era, they just can't seem to get past themselves. The Chargers. A lot of people that I've been reading have been picking the Chargers to go pretty far this year.
Schottenheimer and Reed.
Yeah. Reed's eating bugles on the sideline, pass. I just don't think Kansas City.
Bugles.
That's where my crazy brain goes.
I thought that was the old coach, Bugles.
No, yeah. I don't think San Diego is a prime playoff team. I think they can get in because I think the AFC is kind of weak this year. But I'm not high on them, but I'm certainly high on them here playing in, some kid's backyard in L.A., wherever they are.
All right.
Charges.
Okay. So what do we got? We have Seattle at Broncos. And, this is actually, watching the Seattle dynasty fall apart is actually interesting. And Pete Carroll is sort of like the Phil Jackson. He's sort of like the philosopher guy, and he's supposed to be like the cool sort of hippie guy. He's going to be pulling his freaking hair out because he has no offensive line. He has no weapons. He's got Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson carries that team in a way that no other player is asked to carry a team. Thomas Davis, by the way, suspended. Oh wait, what the hell am I talking about? Carolina. That's the next game. We'll come back to that game. So Case Keenum, God bless him, he did everything the Vikings could have asked. Third string quarterback taking you that far into the playoffs, forget about it. I'm rooting for him for the rest of my life. I'm pulling Broncos, and I really think that the Bradley Chubb, Von Miller, Derek Wolfe against the Seattle offensive line. God bless you, Russell Wilson. You do more than anybody else could for that team, but you're going to be running for your life. Yeah. So I'm going Broncos.
Yeah, I think with Case Keenum, the Broncos have clearly upgraded from what they've had on the quarterback position for the
Paxton Lynch, Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, guys I can't even name anymore. And I think Seattle's doing this.
They're doing that.
I think they're plummeting. I don't think they're falling apart. I think they're plummeting. And you're right. I don't think Pete Carroll has the psychology to get a bunch of nobodies to play the way the team played when he had a lot of great players.
Legion of Boom's gone, baby.
He had a lot of great players. I don't think the Broncos are going far, but I think they're going to win this game. And I think it's close, but I'm taking the Broncos.
All right, we got Cowboys at Panthers. And as I mentioned earlier, Thomas Davis is suspended for this game, which could play in pretty big because the Cowboys' attack is really, it has to be centered on Ezekiel Elliott. They don't have, with Des Bryant gone, what are you going to go throw it to that little Cole Beasley?
Yeah.
I like that Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley can have my baby. No, I mean, it's the same thing Russell Wilson. I think, let me put it out there. I think Dak Prescott is going to regress again and again and again because I think the talent around him is disappearing. Yeah. Jason Witten's up in the booth now. I think the Cowboys are in a lot of trouble, and I'm going to enjoy watching that. So, not a Panthers fan am I, but I am certainly on the Panthers bandwagon in this game. And another guy, Luke Kuechly. There's another guy. You really want that guy to make it through this season without any freaking concussions.
Right. I think if this game were in Dallas, I might change my mind and take the Cowboys here. But it's Carolina at home. They've looked pretty good. They've got a dozen more weapons than Dallas does, period. And I think Cam's looked good thus far. He's healthy. I don't think he's going to be under tremendous pressure against this Dallas defense, to be honest with you. And I think McCaffrey's going to have a very good game here, and I think they're going to win the game.
All right.
Panthers.
We're running long, so we're going to pick this up. We're going to pick it up a little bit.
Skins.
Washington against the Cardinals. God bless Larry Fitzgerald. He's been with a crappy team. And I hope Sam Bradford's knees don't explode on the first snap, but they probably will. I'm taking the Cardinals. It's a battle of two no longer relevant first-round picks.
I don't love Alex Smith, but I like him more than Sam Bradford. I'm taking the Redskins.
I actually think both of them are decent quarterbacks. I think Bradford, coming out of college, was the more talented, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah, but is he ever on the field?
No, he has knees of glass.
Exactly.
All right, what do we got? Chicago at the Packers. The Bears are going all in at this point. They got Allen Robinson. They picked up Khalil Mack. They traded up for Trubinsky. And I think they're still overestimating themselves. Yep. I don't think they're that good. So I'm taking the Packers. Aaron Jones, suspended.
They got Khalil Mack for one reason, to break Aaron Rodgers in two. That's the only reason they got him.
Makes sense.
They're not going to win this game. It's the Packers.
There you go. Jets at the Lions, and Jets fans should have a. They're starting their third best quarterback out of the preseason in Darnold because, quite frankly, Bridgewater outplayed him,
Hmm.
and what can you say? You put all your chips in on this guy. You're probably not a playoff team this year. There's no reason not to go ahead and get him the learning and get him
Absolutely.
out there.
Thank God we're playing in week 3.
But they have some problems. I mean, on defense,
Yeah. They don't have a lot of offensive weapons either.
no, and they don't have a pass rush. So no Jet fan that I know is spouting off like oh, we're heading for the playoffs. Lions are a solid team. LeGarrette Blount should be able to run against the Jets' defensive line. Stafford will not make mistakes. They're at home. I'm taking the Lions.
Yeah, Darnold looks good. I think he's going to be a very good player for years to come. Not in game 1, not in Detroit Lions.
Yeah, exactly. So we finish up the last Monday night game. We've
Tough
got
game.
Rams. You think so? Go
Yeah.
ahead. You go. Rams at the Raiders.
Well, it's tough to call because the Rams D is still very good and it's opening day. But can Carr get back to his winning ways here? I'm not sold on Carr right now. He hasn't. Granted, he was injured for quite a while, but we've seen bursts of brilliance and a lot of pedestrian with him. Can Lynch and Martin be the 1-2 punch for Oakland? That's my question. Doug Martin, I didn't even remember he was on the Raiders till I did some.
Muscle hamster.
Yeah, and Lynch, yes, he's got the heart and the ability. Does he? Is he able to do it this year? I'm not sure. I don't think the Raiders can stop Todd Gurley. The Rams are my pick.
Yeah, me too. So, you said this was a tough game. I think this is an easy game. The Rams are a team on the rise. Great defense, better than expected offense. Gurley being all everything. Goff bounced back from a bad first season to become an actually very good quarterback. And I don't. The Raiders seem old.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I trust John Gruden. I think he has a loyalty to I haven't played fantasy in years. I'd be like picking, guys that used to be good,
Mhm.
and I think Gruden's doing that. I mean, you just named the running backs, and it's like old and older.
Yeah.
No offense to Beast Mode and the Muscle Hamster, they got great nicknames and they have great histories, but it's 2018, almost 19.
Right.
Time to clean out Jordy Nelson. I mean, no offense, but you're going from Aaron Rodgers to Derek Carr. You're coming off of injuries. You're aging. You've had a great career. It's a lot of old guys that you're looking to have one more good season out of Oakland.
You're hoping you can, because you're John Gruden, you can pull it all together and win.
Yeah, and I don't see it happening. And you just said goodbye to your best player. Like, hey, we don't need you. We got these old guys here to fill in.
We don't need to sack quarterback.
So Rams, Rams may be a serious playoff Super Bowl contender. I'm going Rams to win this one easy.
All right. Comments below, please. Chat with us online on our little YouTube extravaganza. We thank you for watching.
Yeah, back for another year. Electric football. We love you guys.
See you.